What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch back here with my X Factors and my key matchups, my top 5 X Factors for Super Bowl 54 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. I think these are the matchups, these are the X Factors that not a lot of people are talking about, that I do believe at the grassroots of Super Bowl 54, this is what's going to determine who will be the Super Bowl champion, Chiefs or Niners. These 5 matchups. We're not discussing which quarterback's going to play better, the basics that everybody's discussing. These are the big time matchups that I believe that will really dictate the Super Bowl champion. Before I dive into my X Factors and my matchups, make sure that you do Gronk spike the like button and subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL vids just like this. And of course, comment your opinion. Let me know what your X Factor is for Super Bowl 54. Do I have it on my list? If I don't, let me know in the comment section below of maybe an X Factor that you see having a major impact on this game. All right, let's start off my first X Factor, my first big matchup. This is more of a scenario or a situation. At number 5, I have third down and red zone defense. So for both teams, I think they're going to have success offensively, which means they're going to be able to move the football between the 20s. But the big scenarios are third down, extending drives, specifically for the 49ers offense. Are they going to be able to continue to move the ball in those third down situations where maybe they're forced into a 3rd and 8, a 3rd and 10, a 3rd and long, where they have to pass the football with their drop back pass game, and Jimmy G and the receivers need to make a play to extend a drive. Now, Kansas City's pass rush is really good on third down, which is going to make it challenging. Their secondary as well has performed very well, but if the 49ers can find a way to keep that time of possession and extend those drives on third down, that's going to be major to winning this game. And then red zone. You need to score touchdowns in the Super Bowl, period. You cannot just kick field goals and expect to win, especially versus these two teams that have high impact, high scoring, dynamic offenses with two great coordinators in Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid, who are going to come up with some magnificent plays. And really the play calling there on third down and in the red zone is going to be a major deal. Which defense can come up with a key stop on third down, maybe even fourth down? You have to figure it's the Super Bowl between those 40s, maybe even the 35-yard line on both sides. You have to figure that that's going to sway a possession or two and probably dictate who wins this game if they can execute on a fourth down and short, maybe even a fourth down and medium. If either of these teams can execute and convert there, that's going to be a big deal. So the scenarios, the situations, fourth, third, and red zone. Those are all major factors in winning a Super Bowl, especially in this game where it's going to be more than likely a high-scoring game. At number 4, I have the middle of the field defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. The reason why I have the middle of the field defense for the Kansas City Chiefs is that is exactly where the 49ers have attacked all year. That is where Jimmy G is most comfortable attacking, and that is exactly where Kyle Shanahan sets up his offense to attack. You think about what they have at receiver, whether that's Emmanuel Sanders, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle at tight end, Kyle Juszczyk at fullback, Tevin Coleman at running back. These guys want to attack the middle of the field. Jimmy Garoppolo actually is the best quarterback in targeting the middle of the field this season, while he is the second to worst quarterback targeting the outside of the numbers. So Kansas City, ranking number 1 versus a receiver this year, wants to force Jimmy G to throw to the sidelines and keep the middle of the field clogged. A big factor, a big X factor in this game is Tyrann Mathieu specifically, being that robber in the middle of the field. Jumping routes, taking away the first read of Jimmy G will be absolutely crucial. Another thing I look at is the matchups at tight end and running back. The Chiefs ranked very poorly versus both positions. Tevin Coleman, that running back, big X factor in this game in terms of in the passing attack, in the receiving game. Kansas City ranked number 32 versus a running back, and they ranked in the bottom 4 versus the tight end. So George Kittle and Tevin Coleman, those running backs should be a factor in the passing game. But Kansas City needs to make sure they clog that middle and force Jimmy G to go elsewhere with the football. At number 4, middle of the field defense for the Chiefs. At number 3, Kansas City's edge support. Now, I just talked about how Kansas City needs to have good middle of the field defense, but that's more in the passing situation. So clearly on third down, and in whenever they feel like it's going to be a pass, I just feel like taking away the middle of the field will be most important. But the challenging part about the 49ers is that they attack you so well in the run game on the edge. So at number 3, I have Kansas City's run edge support. And specifically, I mean Frank Clark, Terrell Suggs, and whoever's playing defensive end and on the edge of the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Because when San Francisco is able to run that outside zone play, it creates so much for their offense in terms of all the different things, play action, passing concepts, screens, other run plays that can hurt a defense based off that one play alone. And if that is working and that's effective for the 49ers, that's basically the game right there. If they're able to run that outside zone, then Kansas City is going to have no chance stopping this offense. Kansas City was not very good versus the run this year. We know this. But if they're able to just take away that one concept, it will at least force the 49ers to do other things with their offense, which is going to go a long way for Kansas City to win. At number 2, I have the base personnel chess match of, again, the 49ers offense versus the Chiefs defense. I think a lot of people are looking at the Chiefs offense versus the 49ers defense as the biggest matchup to watch. And I totally get it. It's the sexy matchup. But the opposite side of the ball, I feel like, has more X factors because it's more debatable on what's going to happen. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, these two teams are more unpredictable. They're not the highlight of the team, so to speak. So the base personnel chess match, what do I mean by this? Well, this is the running backs, this is the tight ends, this is the fullbacks of the 49ers versus potentially the linebackers and maybe the safeties involved in coverage, but the big people on the field for Kansas City. How do they play? How do they match up? This kind of line in line with number 3 as well and the edge support. But the base personnel, Kyle Juszczyk is a major X factor in this game because he provides a different type of matchup for Kansas City. He provides a bigger body that's great in run blocking. So does Kansas City decide to go with more big people to match up versus the run? Do they decide to go with a smaller formation, smaller grouping with more safeties or maybe more speed on the field to potentially take away the outside zone and to cover better? It really is an interesting dilemma that Kansas City is facing on whether they want to play their linebackers, play Hitchens, Wilson, Lee, Ragland, all those guys, or do they want to go small? Because how are you going to cover Juszczyk, Coleman, Mostert, Breida out of the backfield? How are you going to cover Kittle? How are you going to cover Juszczyk? All of these guys out of the backfield and at tight end with linebackers that are not exactly great in coverage, and that is definitely the weakness of the Chiefs' defense. But if they can perform really well, then I think you're looking at the Chiefs winning this game. And at number 1, the biggest X factor, the biggest matchup in this game is definitely the 49ers interior rush. I think a lot of people are spending time talking about Dee Ford and Nick Bosa. I think they're putting the wrong placement on where the 49ers need to have the rush, where they need to get the pressure, and that is in the interior. And why I say that is because I believe to be most effective versus Mahomes in this game, the 49ers need to be conservative in keeping him within the pocket and not allowing him to extend plays and therefore stretching zone coverages that the 49ers play and allowing more time for the Chiefs' speedy receivers to get open and find holes within the zone coverage. So keeping him inside that pocket and allowing Armstead, Buckner, Solomon Thomas to get forward up into the pass rushing lanes and get after and in the face of Mahomes, I think will be the best way to create pressure. So those two guys, Buckner and Armstead, to try to expose the weakness of the Chiefs' offensive line, which is the interior from center and the two guards, that is really where the Chiefs struggle most to protect. That is where the 49ers need to dominate. It's not necessarily on the edge. I think something interesting about this game is that the 49ers play a wide 9 front, so they already are very spread out and on the defensive line. They're ready to contain the quarterback from running outside of the pocket. So it's up to Buckner and Armstead to freely get after the quarterback and cause disruption. All right, guys, those are the 5 X factors, the 5 matchups to watch in Super Bowl 54. Make sure you guys do. Gronk spike that like button, subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL vids just like this, and comment your opinion. What did you think of my X factors? If you agreed, let me know in the comment section. If you disagreed, let me know as well. And if you have one that I didn't mention, for sure, leave it in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl, and peace out.